Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion, or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech, or of the press, or the right of the people peaceably to assemble, and to petition the government for a redress of grievances.
Well, the clip I took was from KSL. I'll leave the link in the description below. But KSL was at the convention when Governor Cox was booed. And the story here isn't one that Governor Cox is necessarily a bad guy or a good guy. The story here is what he's saying sounds good. He puts on a good smile. But if you can tell, it's practiced, right? He's practiced this smile to a T. And he's really good at acting. Is like President Bush Sr. and President Bush Jr. and Bill Clinton and Ronald Reagan. All these politicians, they have coaches, acting coaches. They're taught how to act, how to present themselves. They practice. It's a job. They practice. They are actors. And or actresses, however you want to put it. And I'm sure some people don't like, that terminology. Well, I don't really care. The other one is he's claimed to sign certain bills or pass certain bills. But in his rhetoric, he starts saying we. It's almost like you're supposed to miss that part. It wasn't him. He signed a bill that Governor Herbert had wrote up. And his team wrote it up. All he did is sign it. Not exactly a whole lot of effort went into that. He's taking claim for something somebody else did. What else has he done? It's the condescending nature of his tone, his rhetoric. It's, you guys aren't very good people. While he's talking about disagreeing better, he's condescending, belittling, rude, with a smile on his face. This bothers me. DEI. In his speech, he talks about DEI. DEI, he says, they got rid of DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion within government and whatnot. And I'll tell you, no, we didn't. It's hidden. It's hidden. I know it's there because I asked a school board member about DEI in the school system. And that individual also claimed to have gotten rid of DEI. But it's not. It's in the digital works. It's there. Trust me, it's not gone. It's still there. So he's making a false claim. Maybe he just doesn't know it. Something else that really bothers me is how he repeats the same word when it's not scripted. It's like listening to Porky Pig try to give a speech.
Yeah, it used to be, and look, I know we've seen some recent polling that show that more. Sure. Well, polling has not mattered much, but I also polling in just the last week's show, and I think this is and we're headed we're too.
It's like just spit it out. I think if you watch a 10-minute speech, 3 minutes of it is the same word being repeated over and over and over again. I think it's a stressor, maybe a tick. I don't know what he's got going on there. But I don't think he's this benevolent elite that he thinks he is, that he professes to be, that he acts. Is he being disingenuous with the voters? There's some controversy going on. He says, not in this speech, but the state of Utah wants to say that there's no voter fraud in Utah. Well, Park City just had 3 cases of voter fraud where they voted more than once.
Auditors tested the election systems of every single one of Utah's counties and found no major problems.
We did not find evidence of systematic problems, widespread errors, or significant fraud.
Republican legislative leaders requested the audit in the aftermath of the 2020 elections.
They different tickets and all kinds of other crazy stuff. I don't know the whole ins and outs of it, but the point being is there is voter fraud in Utah, and they tell us there is not any voter fraud in Utah. And one of the biggest frauds is this Cox, Governor Cox. I don't know, he puts on a good show, but it's not reality. It's not really what's going on. What he says sounds good, but what he doesn't say is the reality of the situation. Not everybody at the convention is a bad person. Not everybody agrees with him. That doesn't mean they're lesser of a Republican or more of a Republican or more aligned with the party or less aligned with the party. It doesn't mean that they are extremists. And he alludes to a lot of different things in here. It's hard to pick apart. But I do know that he's not this benevolent elite that he's alluding to. It's an act. It's pretend.